What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be playing some Temur Hydra. And initially I was just looking to play Temur Superfriends, and I was going to proliferate a bunch on them and yada yada. But how can you play Temur and not play Hydra? So it sort of became a Bioessence Hydra deck instead of Temur Superfriends Proliferate. Although we do still have the Proliferate aspects in the deck. So yeah, we're going to hop right into the deck tech or the breakdown, but before we do, I want to go ahead and say if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions for this deck, future decks, or past decks. Y'all know that whole rundown. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We try to play fun decks, try to have a good time on the channel above all else. So yeah, we're going to go and kick this off. We have 4 copies of Llanowar Elves. This is going to help us ramp into, all of our other cards pretty much. So fantastic there. We have 4 copies of Bond of Flourishing. This is going to be excellent with our Flux Channelers, as well as giving us 3 life and allowing us to draw out a permanent, which we do have a whole lot considering we have a whole bunch of creatures and planeswalkers. Moving us down, we have 4 copies of Pollenbright Druid. Whenever this card enters the battlefield, we're going to either be able to give one of our creatures a +1/+1 counter, or proliferate everything that already has a counter on it. So, works pretty well. If you don't have any planeswalkers down, you can just go ahead and put a counter on this, and then start proliferating this up. Or, if you have, you have a decent board state and you draw into this, it's not the world's worst, as you can just proliferate everything up. Moving us down, we have 3 copies of Growth Spiral. This is going to help us ramp a little bit more as well as drawing cards, and it works fantastically with Flux Channeler. Speaking of which, this is going to be our next card, 3 copies of it. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, Proliferate. So pretty awesome. Only has 2 health, so it is very, very easily removed. But yeah, if you get it down and you get it to stick, it's going to be fantastic. Moving us down, we have 1 copy of Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, that reads, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So this is going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of non-creature spells. We're going to be creating a lot of these little artifact creature servos. And yeah, they're just pretty much chum blockers. I mean, if we get enough, obviously we can go wad, but that's not the plan. It's not what we're going for. So moving us down, we have 1 copy of Domri, Anarch of Bolas. For 3 mana, going to come down, give all of our creatures +1/+0, as well as being able to +1 up and add either a red or a green mana, and making all of our creature spells that we cast this way uncounterable, or rather, creature spells that we cast this turn uncounterable, so we don't have to use that mana on a creature, but it will still give us the effect. Furthermore, for -2, we can use a creature of our own and have it attack a creature of theirs, so can be some good removal. Moving us down, we have 2 copies of Kiora, Behemoth, Beckoner. This card works fantastically with Bioessence Hydra. As 1, it allows you to ramp into a Bioessence Hydra on turn 4. 2, it gives 7 health for the Bioessence Hydra, right? So 7 counters, which is just absolutely ridiculous, right? Turn 4, getting down at least an 11/11. Yeah, fantastic. Or I guess at that point it'd be a 10/10 because you got a -1 on Kiora to get it, but still fantastic nonetheless. Or actually, if you went Llanowar turn 1, I think by turn 3 you could have your Hydra, maybe? Because turn 2 you throw down Kiora, turn 3 you have 4 mana considering the Llanowar, and then you untap 1 with Kiora. That's 5 mana on turn 3. That's that's crazy. But nonetheless, we'll move on. 2 copies of Kasmina, which is actually a really, really awesome planeswalker. For 4 mana, comes down with 5 loyalty. And her static effect reads, whenever spells your opponents cast that target a creature or planeswalker we control, they cost 2 more to cast. So it's going to make things like Murders and Vraska's Contempts, all that good stuff, cost just a little bit more. Furthermore, for -2, we can create a 2/2 blue wizard creature token, and we'll draw a card and then have to discard a card. Moving us down, we have 3 copies of Spark Double. We're playing a whole bunch of planeswalkers, so yeah, let's copy them. That's always fun. If I can play something like Spark Double, I will 100% do it every single time. So I think it's an awesome card and it's a fun card. So if you want to make it a little bit more streamlined, maybe don't play Spark Double, but I find it to be very, very fun. Next is Ral Storm Conduit. This is probably our weakest synergy in the deck, if that makes sense, as we're not red-blue spells matter, right? We're not Izzet just casting out a whole bunch of spells. However, it is still nice for the scry effect, and if we want to copy a spell, then it works wonders with Growth Spiral, Bond of Flourishing, I don't think we have too many other instants or sorceries. So yeah, Ral could probably be dropped from the deck. I wanted to try out some of the new Planeswalkers, and he's been working fine so far, but you know, fine may not be good enough for some of y'all. So by all means, cut Ral and find something else to throw in here. Next, we have 2 copies of Domri Chaosbringer. Now this card is fantastic. Comes down for 4 mana. We can add either a red or green mana, and if this mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains Riot. So you have your Hydra in hand, you have your Domri on the field, and maybe, you know, 1-2 other Planeswalkers. You're going to give your Hydra haste, and it's going to come down really, really big. So it's definitely fun to play Domri. Honestly, what we could do is a -1 on the Ral and +1 on the Nissa, because Nissa is fantastic as well. So sure, we'll do that. You can leave Ral in. It's really up to you. Like I said, he's fine. Maybe not the most optimal, but fine. Nonetheless, Domri, he's been a while since the last set. -3, we can look at the top 4 cards of our library. We can reveal 2 creatures from among them. We won't be doing that often unless we're just trying to haul ass and find Hydra, right? So, and then for -8, we get an emblem at the beginning of each end step. So our opponents and ours, we're going to create a 4/4 red-green beast creature token with trample. Moving us down, we have 2 copies of Tamiyo, Collector of Tales. Now this is a card that when the set first dropped, I wasn't the biggest fan, but as the sets moved on and you know, got more settled in, I gotta say I'm really, really loving Tamiyo. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard or sacrifice permanents. Fantastic if you're going up against you know, a mono black hand destruction or anything of the sort. For +1, we can choose a non-land card name and then reveal the top 4 cards, and we put all cards with that name into our hand. So whatever we're trying to find, basically we can +1 on her and go digging. And say we don't hit it, but we hit something else that's pretty important. Then on the very next turn, we're just going to -3 and return target card from your graveyard to your library. Now this does say target card, so it can be anything, including a land. And I have one more point I need to make about this deck, so I'm going to try not to forget that come the end. We do have 2 copies of Nissa, who shakes the world. Whenever we tap a forest for mana, add an additional green mana. So one thing I want to note real quick, these shock lands actually are forest as well, as long as they have green in it. It's a mountain and a forest, so these dual lands still work the same as a regular forest with Nissa. And honestly, they're actually a little bit better, right? Say you have a growth spiral. It is much, much better to have a breathing pull down than a forest, because with breathing pull down in Nissa, you can actually cast it as you tap this for blue mana. It's still going to give you the green mana. However, if you have a forest and you tap it, it's just going to give you 2 green mana. So good little thing to note there. Furthermore, for -8 on Nissa, kind of her ulti, we get an emblem. Lands we control have indestructible, and we search our library for any forest cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then we shuffle our library. So pretty awesome win con, in all built in herself with Nissa. A card I really underrated in the beginning. I remember talking about this card and saying, I don't see that being that good, right? I just see her coming down and getting taken out. But in reality, Nissa is really good. So, moving us down, we have 1 copy of Ral, Izzet Viceroy. Now, again, Ral, they don't play excellently in this deck, as you're not going for spells a whole lot. You're going for your Hydra, you're going for your other Planeswalkers. I just can't help myself. I enjoy Ral so much. It's kind of like Jace. I really love playing Jace, however, I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to be able to play Jace Castaway unless I'm playing a Nico Bolas myself, because every time I get it down, I seem to go up against a Bolas deck, and then they just copy their Bolases, and I'm like, feels bad. So I've decided instead of playing Jace, we're going to play Ral, and that's why you saw the other copy of Ral earlier. Here's this Ral. I'm not saying it's fantastic in the deck. I'm just saying it's one of my more favored Planeswalkers, and that's the cool thing about playing Bioessence Hydra or just playing with all these Super Friends in general, is you don't have to play the most efficient ones if you don't want to. If you want to have fun with it, play the ones you want, and you know, I'm sure a deck will emerge somewhere there within. So, Ral, not optimal. Again, if you have another Planeswalker you favor, put him in. Finally, but not What was I going for there? What's the saying? Last but not least, I don't know why I said finally. Bioessence Hydra, 5 mana, trample, comes down as a 4/4. Not super fantastic, just right there, but with its effect, it's really an awesome card. So Bioessence Hydra is going to enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on planeswalkers we control. So if we have down a Kiora and a Tamiyo, that's going to be 12 counters just right there, which is going to make this Hydra a 16/16 with trample for 5 mana. Yeah, that's just scary. Furthermore, whenever one or more loyalty counters are put on planeswalkers we control, put that many +1/+1 counters on Bioessence Hydra. So obviously, if you have down some, 1, 2, 3, however many planeswalkers, and you have down a Flux Channeler and a Bioessence Hydra, you're going to grow this thing so huge. And the unfortunate thing about this deck is most of the time, once you get down your Hydra, your opponent's just going to scoop. So that is sort of the downfall. But nonetheless, we're going to go and hop into some matches with this deck, and we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, here we are in a match 1 up against McGary Magic. Yeah, it's an okay hand. We can get down Llanowar turn 1. Probably Growth Spiral turn 2. Tamiyo turn 3. Oh, mono red. No, Rakdos. Okay. I was about to say, how is it every time I go to start recording, I get in these matches up against literally the most meta shit possible? But it's Rakdos, so I can calm down, right? Probably still Rakdos burned, though. Don't get me wrong. They're probably still running Gutter Snipes and all that fun stuff. So we'll let the Footlight Fiend go through. Not much we can do there. Sure, throw down the Hinterland. And I believe we want to go ahead and Growth Spiral here. Pollenbright Druid. That's fine. It does allow us to get down a creature. No! Okay. I don't know why Proliferate is on the right side. For some reason, I always think the +1/+1 counters are, but no, I'm just fucking retarded. Alrighty. Well, we'll hope Gary Magic doesn't capitalize on that one misplay. Grim Initiate. Okay. So let me get this straight. You kept a 1-land hand. Although, if I keep playing as what I am, they may be perfectly fine. So I think getting down the Domri is actually okay, because then we can throw down the Pollenbright Druid still. We can get down the other Domri, or we can get down this Domri, throw down the Pollenbright Druid, and -2 to make them attack the Grim Initiate. I think we want this Domri, the Chaos Bringer. I think we want it down first, so let's go ahead and throw in some red mana. I guess it doesn't really matter, and then we'll throw down the Pollenbright Druid with a +1/+1 counter. And then I think we proliferate here. So again, I wish that our other Pollenbright I wish that we had put the counter on it. Then we would actually have, 2 3/3s and a 7 Domri, which is, fantastic. But it is what it is. We'll have to Fanatical Firebrand. Okay. So here's the tricky thing with Fanatical Firebrand is it makes blocking the Footlight Fiends actually difficult as hell. Oh, unless they just attack with it. Well, if they do that, then I can actually block the Footlight Fiend and have no qualm about it. I could probably block the Fanatical Firebrand as well. Domri's still going to take one. But honestly, I think that's fine. We have no way to put it. Yeah, okay, this should be alright. We'll take one to the face. Domri will take one. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 from the Footlight. Okay. Let's go Tamiyo. We can play this, and we can actually get down our other Domri as well if we want to. So, is there a card we want to get back from our graveyard? We can get down a Pollenbright Druid, actually, and throw her down with a counter and proliferate. I kind of like the idea of that. It seems like a bit of a waste, but I need to get my board state back up, so let's just do that, shall we? So, +1/+1 counter, and then we're going to proliferate. There we go. It's like we never made the mistake in the first place. Alright, so we have some defenders. Our Tamiyo should be fine, unless they finally get... Hey, they finally got a second land. Are they going to start lightning striking some shit, like Tamiyo? Definitely should if they have it. But if they do that, Domri might get to 8, in which case that's GG as well. So Gary Magic, keeping a one-land hand probably wasn't your best course of action, if I'm just going to be honest with you. Shock, and another shock. Another shock. The double shock coming down on the Druid. What a price to pay. They're going all in on the Domri. Okay, so we let that one bit of damage through. We kill the Grim Initiate. I think they're starting to drown here, and they don't quite know what to do. All right, so we can get down to Kasmina, or the Domri, or actually, hell, we get down both, right? I tell you what, let's +1 on our Tamiyo, and let's go looking for actually a Flux Channeler. No. We had 3 lands and a Saheeli. Well, I gotta say I'm pretty happy that we didn't get that flooded, but, you know, at the same time. Alright, let's draw out a card, see what we can get. Nissa. Ooh, I am gonna discard the Domri for the Nissa, because that's fantastic. And then we can just +1, just to get Domri back up there, right? Next, no attacks. Alright, yeah, so next turn we'll get down Nissa. We'll have 4 Planeswalkers on the board, and I fully expect them probably to just quit. But you never know. Flame of Killed, so they're gonna discard all their cards. Krenko, another Flame, and a 10 Street. What kind of odd deck are they playing here? It's like super... Alright, so we can do this. They might kill my wizard. They might deal the 1 damage over on Domri. Either way, I think it's a GG. So, like I said, you could probably expect them to scoop here soon. Let's go ahead and get down the Nissa, right? And, oh, you know what we should have done? Actually, we should have been digging for the Hydra. This is the combo we're trying to play, and knowing that well, we got rid of another Nissa, Kiora, Pollenbright Druid. It's +1 on... Oh, we don't actually have the... What's it called down? So, if y'all have proper lands, that's fantastic. I do not, so it's unfortunate, but... We can still throw down Growth Spiral this way. Okay, so... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to all attack. We're going to +1 on the Domri and add some green mana. Then we'll cast the Growth Spiral, and let's see what we get. Oh, another land. We will enter that tapped as we don't have anything to spend it on. And there's no reason to use Kasmina, so... If we were to get down a Bioessence Hydra right now, we would give it 11, 18, 21 counters. Alright, so Gary Magic just going to scoop it up there. Game 1, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking keeping a 1-land hand. That's always risky, but yeah, I got to showcase the deck a little bit, so you can't be too mad at that. And on to a game 2. Alrighty, Draco King 245 going to be our next foe for the day, and this may be our last match as I do have work very soon. I had some stuff to take care of earlier this morning, so I wasn't able to get out a video. We will keep this, and this looks like an excellent hand, by the way. 2 Bioessence Hydras in hand. Now we just need to get some Planeswalkers down. We have the Flux Channeler. We even have a Pollenbright Druid to, you know, get things going. This could be a fun game. Draco King, if I could just ask you, you know, politely not to Conclave Tribunal my shit as soon as it comes down, we're gonna have a good time today. We're gonna have a good game. Okay, you can play your Johnnies, you can get them as big as you want. I'll try and get my Hydra bigger. You know, it'll be like a muscles competition, a strongman competition, if you will, a strong creature competition. So yeah, just don't go removing my stuff. We'll be all good. Inspiring Cleric. Alright, so they're off to the races. Their Johnny's starting out quick. We'll see what we get. Saheeli. Saheeli. Don't ask me what that is. So we can actually go ahead and throw down a Saheeli if we want, though they could swing in and just kill it next turn, right? So maybe we do want the Pollenbright Druid, put a +1/+1 counter on itself. It can at least deal with the Inspiring Cleric then. And it means whenever we play the Saheeli, which we can't play it this turn regardless, we would be able to proliferate and make the Pollenbright Druid a little bit bigger. So yeah, I think getting down Pollenbright Druid first is the correct play. And here's the thing, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you don't want to put your counters on your Flux Channelers. One, because they already have immense value. You know, if you have no other creatures on the board, then yeah, put the counter on it. However, don't put your counters on your Flux Channelers because they already have reason to remove it, right? So if they remove it, they're getting both your big creature and your proliferate creature. So, you know, and you obviously don't want to put your counters on your Llanowar because sometimes you're going to want to tap your Llanowar for some mana. They are swinging all in here, and I can't do it. You know, I can't take the damage. So we'll trade up there. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but it's where we are nonetheless. So let's go ahead and throw down Saheeli. And this Flux Channeler unfortunately won't get the usage that I wanted out of her. However, we will Growth Spiral, and we'll actually be able to proc Saheeli as well as Flux Channeler and get the Saheeli building up a little bit. Hey, and there's another one, so you can't be mad at that, right? And no attacks. We're going to keep the servo back to defend. Well, we could be swinging him with a Flux Channeler. Another cool little feature is come next turn, if we want to get down to Flux Channeler and then use Saheeli to make our servo a copy of a Flux Channeler, we could do that as well. However, we're going to have to block with it here, right? So I guess that doesn't really work. That's okay, though. Nissa! Nissa! Baby! Where you been at? You know? Just like in general. How you been doing? So yeah, we can get down the Nissa if we want to, or we can get down the Flux Channeler and really try and spike it home. Although if we get down the Flux Channeler, we don't have anything to defend with. So sure, let's go with Nissa. And we'll +1 and get the breeding pool up there. And making our servo a copy of anything doesn't really help. So I think that's going to be about it. We can swing in with the breeding pool as their Sky March Bloodletter can't really defend against it. So you know what they say, free damage is the best damage. So yeah, we have 2 Hydras, and if we throw one down, they're going to get 13 counters on it, making it 17-17 with Trample. Ugh, isn't that scary? Doesn't that just give you the willies? Okay, so they're gonna murder my land. what a fucking prick. Which actually hurts me a hell of a lot because it means I can't get down the Hydra now, right? So maybe I shouldn't have put my breeding pool up there. Maybe I should have been a bit more conservative. We are gonna block the Ajani and we'll take the damage with the Sky Marcher. Hey, a force! Is that our Hydra? That's our fucking Hydra, ain't it? Yes, yes indeed. Indeed it is. Okay, so I'm gonna quit being so weird now, I swear. We're gonna +1 on the Nissa. I'm not gonna make the same mistake by making my force go out there. We're probably gonna go ahead and attack with our Rootbound. Right? I think so. And I just don't want to attack with Flux because of Seal Away, so let's go ahead and attack with the Rootbound. Now let's get down the Bioessence. The 1616, the big boy himself. Throw your Johnny at that motherfucker. Draco King. How's that feel? So we're in a pretty good position, I'd have to say, and the fact that we can get down another Bioessence Hydra come next turn makes me think that our opponent's like pretty close to just scooping it. Ooh, is that really what you want to do? Maybe they have something that can give it Death Touch, though, no? Maybe they just didn't see my Hydra there? I'm not sure. Okay, there's the scoop. Didn't even get to play my other Hydra. They were like, oh, you know, I hadn't noticed that, that big old creature you have over there. Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for the matches today. I hope you all enjoyed. I do apologize for them being so short, but again, thanks for all the support. And maybe I can get out and get up a live stream tonight over on Twitch, because I actually don't have work tomorrow. So, thanks everybody for watching, and peace.